The opossums are marsupial mammals of the order Didelphimorphia, the largest order of marsupials in the Western Hemisphere. It comprises 103 or more species in 19 genera. Opossums originated in South America and entered North America in the Great American Interchange following the connection of the two continents. Their unspecialized biology, flexible diet, and reproductive habits make them successful colonizers and survivors in diverse locations and conditions. Etymology. The word opossum is borrowed from the Powhatan language and was first recorded between 1607 and 1611 by John Smith as opossum, and William Strachey as opossum. Both men encountered the language at the British settlement of Jamestown, Virginia, which Smith helped to found, and Strachey later served as its first secretary. Strachey's notes describe the opossum as a beast in bigness of a pig and in taste alike, while Smith recorded it hath an head like a swine, tail like a rat, of the bigness of a cat. The Powhatan word ultimately derives from a Proto-Algonquin word, *qua pia theta emwa, meaning white dog, a dog-like beast. Quote, the opossum is also commonly known as opossum, particularly in the southern United States and Midwest. Following the arrival of Europeans in Australia, the term possum was borrowed to describe distantly related Australian marsupials of the suborder Phalangeriformes, which are more closely related to other Australian marsupials such as kangaroos. Didelphimorphia refers to the fact that, like all marsupials, these animals have two wombs, Delphis characteristics. Didelphimorphs are small to medium-sized marsupials that grow to the size of a house cat. They tend to be semi-arboreal omnivores, although there are many exceptions. Most members of this taxon have long snouts, a narrow brain case, and a prominent sagittal crest. The dental formula is 5.1.3.44.1.3.4. By mammalian standards, this is an unusually full jaw. The incisors are very small, the canines large, and the molars are tricuspid. Didelphimorphs have a plantigrade stance, feet flat on the ground, and the hind feet have an opposable digit with no claw, like some New World monkeys. Opossums have prehensile tails. Like all marsupials, the fur consists of horn hair only, and the females have a pouch. The tail and parts of the feet bear scutes. The stomach is simple, with a small cecum. Notably, the male opossum has a forked penis bearing twin glands. Opossums have a remarkably robust immune system, and show partial or total immunity to the venom of rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and other pit vipers. Opossums are about 8 times less likely to carry rabies than wild dogs, and about 1 in 800 opossums is infected with this virus. Although all living opossums are essentially opportunistic omnivores, different species vary in the amount of meat and vegetation they include in their diet. Members of the Caluromyini are essentially frugivorous, whereas the lutrine opossum and Patagonian opossum primarily feed on other animals. The Yapoc, Chironectes minimus, is particularly unusual, as it is the only living semi-aquatic marsupial, using its webbed hind limbs to dive in search of freshwater mollusks and crayfish. Most opossums are scansorial, well adapted to life in the trees or on the ground. But members of the Caluromyini and Glironiinae are primarily arboreal, whereas species of Metachiris, Monodelphes, and to a lesser degree Didelphes show adaptations for life on the ground. Reproduction and life cycle. As a marsupial, the female opossum has a reproductive system that includes a bifurcated vagina, a divided uterus and a marsupium, which is her pouch. The average estrus cycle of the opossum is about 28 days. Opossums do possess a placenta, but it is short-lived, simple in structure, and, unlike that of placental mammals, is not fully functional. The young are therefore born at a very early stage. Although the gestation period is similar to many other small marsupials, at only 12 to 14 days. Once born, the offspring must find the way into the marsupium to hold onto and nurse from a teat. Female opossums often give birth to very large numbers of young, most of which fail to attach to a teat, although as many as 13 young can attach, and therefore survive. Depending on species, the young are weaned between 70 and 125 days. When they detach from the teat and leave the pouch, the opossum lifespan is unusually short for a mammal of its size, usually only 2 to 4 years. Senescence is rapid. The species are moderately sexually dimorphic, with males usually being slightly larger, much heavier, and having larger canines than females. The largest difference between the opossum and non-marsupial mammals is the bifurcated penis of the male and bifurcated vagina of the female. The source of the term, Didelphimorph, from the Greek, didelphys, meaning double-wombed. Opossum spermatozoa exhibit sperm pairing, forming conjugate pairs in the epididymis. This may ensure that flagellar movement can be accurately coordinated for maximal motility. Conjugate pairs dissociate into separate spermatozoa before fertilization. Behavior. Opossums are usually solitary and nomadic, staying in one area as long as food and water are easily available. Some families will group together in ready-made burrows or even under houses. Though they will temporarily occupy abandoned burrows, they do not dig or put much effort into building their own. As nocturnal animals, they favor dark, secure areas. These areas may be below ground or above. When threatened or harmed, they will play possum, mimicking the appearance and smell of a sick or dead animal. This physiological response is involuntary, like fainting, rather than a conscious act. In the case of baby opossums, however, the brain does not always react this way at the appropriate moment, and therefore they often fail to play dead when threatened. When an opossum is playing possum, the animal's lips are drawn back, the teeth are bared, saliva foams around the mouth, the eyes close or half close, and a foul-smelling fluid is secreted from the anal glands. The stiff, curled form can be prodded, turned over, and even carried away without reaction. The animal will typically regain consciousness after a period of a few minutes to 4 hours, a process that begins with slight twitching of the ears. Adult opossums do not hang from trees by their tails, as sometimes depicted, though babies may dangle temporarily. Their semi-prehensile tails are not strong enough to support a mature adult's weight. Instead, the opossum uses its tail as a brace and a fifth limb when climbing. The tail is occasionally used as a grip to carry bunches of leaves or bedding materials to the nest. A mother will sometimes carry her young upon her back, where they will cling tightly even when she is climbing or running. Threatened opossums, especially males, will growl deeply, raising their pitch as the threat becomes more urgent. Males make a clicking, smack noise out of the side of their mouths as they wander in search of a mate, and females will sometimes repeat the sound in return. When separated or distressed, baby opossums will make a sneezing noise to signal their mother. If threatened, the baby will open its mouth and quietly hiss until the threat is gone. Biochemistry. Opossums are remarkably resistant to snake venom, ricin, and botulinum toxin. Habitat. Opossums are found in North, Central, and South America. The Virginia opossum lives in regions as far north as Canada and as far south as Central America, while other types of opossums only inhabit countries south of the United States. The Virginia opossum can often be found in wooded areas, though its habitat may vary widely. Hunting and foodways. The Virginia opossum was once widely hunted and consumed in the United States. Sweet potatoes were eaten together with the possum in America's southern area. South Carolina cuisine includes opossum eating. Jimmy Carter killed opossums in addition to other small game. Raccoon, opossum, partridges, prairie hen, and frogs were among the fare Mark Twain recorded as part of American cuisine. Opossum farms have been operated in the United States, in Dominica, Grenada, Trinidad, St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The common opossum or manitou is popular and can only be hunted during certain times of the year owing to overhunting. The meat is traditionally prepared by smoking, then stewing. It is light and fine-grained, but the musk glands must be removed as part of preparation. The meat can be used in place of rabbit and chicken in recipes. Historically, hunters in the Caribbean would place a barrel with fresh or rotten fruit to attract opossums that would feed on the fruit or insects. In northern, central Mexico, opossums are known as tlacuaque or tlacuatzan. Their tails are eaten as a folk remedy to improve fertility. In the Yucatan Peninsula they are known in the Yucatec Mayan language as ok, and they are not considered part of the regular diet by Mayan people, but still considered edible in times of famine. Opossum oil, possum grease, is high in essential fatty acids and has been used as a chest rub and a carrier for arthritis. Remedies given as topical salves. Opossum pelts have long been part of the fur trade. Classification. Classification based on Voss and Jansa. 2009. Family Didelphidae. Subfamily Glironiinae. Genus Glironia. Bushy-tailed opossum. Glironia venista. Subfamily Caluromyini. Genus Caloromys. Subgenus Caloromys. Bare-tailed woolly opossum. Caloromys philander. Subgenus Maladelphys. Darby's woolly opossum. Caloromys derbianus. Brown-eared woolly opossum. Caloromys lanatus. Genus Caluromysiops. Black-shouldered opossum. Caluromysiops erupta. Subfamily Hylodelphini. Genus Hylodelphes. Kalinowski's mouse opossum. Hylodelphes kalinowski. Subfamily Didelphini. Tribe Didelphini. Genus Metachiris. Brown four-eyed opossum. Metachiris nudicaudatus. Genus Chironectes. Yapock a water opossum. Chironectes minimus. Unnamed subgroup. Genus Lutriolina. Lutriolina biforata. Lutrina thick-tailed opossum. Lutriolina crassicordata. Lutriolina matidii. Lutriolina massia. Genus Hyperdidelphes. Hyperdidelphes de Martinoi. Hyperdidelphes inexpectata. Hyperdidelphes parvula. Hyperdidelphes pattersoni. Unnamed subgroup. Genus Didelphes. White-eared opossum. Didelphes albiventris. Big-eared opossum. Didelphes aurita. Guianan white-eared opossum. Didelphes imperfecta. Common opossum. Didelphes marsupialis. Andean white-eared opossum. Didelphes pernigra. Didelphes solomoensis. Virginia opossum. Didelphes virginiana. Genus Philander. Anderson's four-eyed opossum. Philander andersoni. Deltaic four-eyed opossum. Philander delta. Southeastern four-eyed opossum. Philander frenatus. McIlhenny's four-eyed opossum. Philander McIlhenny. Mondolfi's four-eyed opossum. Philander mondolfi. Olrog's four-eyed opossum. Philander olrogi. Gray four-eyed opossum. Philander opossum. Genus Thylophorops. Thylophorops japadmalensis. Thylophorops lorenzini. Thylophorops poplana. Tribe Marmosini. Genus Marmosa. Subgenus Marmosa. Heavy-browed mouse opossum. Marmosa andersoni. Isthmian mouse opossum. Marmosa osmica, rufous mouse opossum, Marmosa lepida, Mexican mouse opossum, Marmosa mexicana, Linnaeus's mouse opossum, Marmosa marina, Quechuan mouse opossum, Marmosa quechua, Robinson's mouse opossum, Marmosa robinsoni, red mouse opossum, Marmosa rubra, Marmosa simonsi, Tyleria mouse opossum, Marmosa tyleriana, Marmosa waterhousea, Guajira mouse opossum, Marmosa xerophila, Marmosa zeladoni, subgenus Mycurius, Alston's mouse opossum, Marmosa alstoni, white-bellied woolly mouse opossum, Marmosa constantiae, woolly mouse opossum, Marmosa demerari, Marmosa laventica, Tate's woolly mouse opossum, Marmosa paraguayanus, little woolly mouse opossum, Marmosa phoeus, bare-tailed woolly mouse opossum, Marmosa regina, genus Monodelphes, S. Monodelphes translation of Spanish article. Sepia short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes adusta, northern three-striped opossum, Monodelphes americana, Monodelphes islandois, northern red-sided opossum, Monodelphes brevicaudata, yellow-sided opossum, Monodelphes dimidiata, gray short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes domestica, Amelia's short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes emilii, Amazonian red-sided opossum, Monodelphes glirina, Handley's short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes handley, Eyring's three-striped opossum, Monodelphes eyringi, pygmy short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes kunsi, Mariho short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes marixina, Osgood's short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes osgoodi, hooded red-sided opossum, Monodelphes palliolata, Monodelphes pinocchio, Rieg's opossum, Monodelphes regi, Ronald's opossum, Monodelphes ronaldi, chestnut-striped opossum, Monodelphes robida, Monodelphes sarsi, Monodelphes sancterose, long-nosed short-tailed opossum, Monodelphes scallops, southern red-sided opossum, Monodelphes sorex, southern three-striped opossum, Monodelphes teresa, Monodelphes tuan, red three-striped opossum, Monodelphes umbristriata, one-striped opossum, Monodelphes unistriata, genus Talacuatesson, S. Talacuatesson translation of Spanish article. Grayish mouse opossum, Talacuatesson canescens, tribe Thylamyini, genus Chacodelphes, Chasso and pygmy opossum, Chacodelphes formosa, genus Cryptoninus, Agricola's Gracia opossum, Cryptoninus agricolae, Chasso and Gracia opossum, Cryptoninus chacoensis, Guahiba Gracia opossum, Cryptoninus guahibae, red-bellied Gracia opossum, Cryptoninus ignitus, 1962, Undwavi Gracia opossum, Cryptoninus unguaviensis, genus Gracilinanus, Iceramarca Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus iceramarci, agile Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus agilis, wood sprite Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus dryas, Amelia's Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus emilii, northern Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus marica, Brazilian Gracia opossum, Gracilinanus microtarsus, genus Lestodelphes, Patagonian opossum, Lestodelphes halley, genus Marmosops, Bishop's slender opossum, Marmosops bishopi, narrow-headed slender opossum, Marmosops crassens, Creighton's slender opossum, Marmosops craytoni, Dorothy's slender opossum, Marmosops dorothea, Dusky slender opossum, Marmosops fuscatus, Handley's slender opossum, Marmosops handley, Tudi's slender opossum, Marmosops impavidus, Gray slender opossum, Marmosops incanis, Panama slender opossum, Marmosops invictus, Janine slender opossum, Marmosops juninensis, Neblina, slender opossum. Marmosops neblina, white-bellied slender opossum. Marmosops noctivagus, delicate, slender opossum. Marmosops parvidens, Brazilian slender opossum. Marmosops paulensis, Panero's slender opossum. Marmosops paneroi, genus Thylames. Thylames columbianus, Cinderella fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames cinderella. Thylames cytilis, elegant fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames elegans. Thylames fenestrae, Carimes fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames carami, Paraguayan fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames macrurus. Thylames minutus, white-bellied fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames pallidor. Thylames pulchellus. Thylames pine, common fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames pucellis, Argentine fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames sponsorius, Tate's fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames tate, dwarf fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames velutinus, buff-bellied fat-tailed mouse opossum. Thylames venestis. Thylames zati, genus Zygolestes. Zygolestes tate. Data related to Didelphimorphia at Wikispecies. Media related to opossums in Art of Wikimedia Commons. Possums or opossums. On Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa. View the Mondum 5 genome assembly in the UCSC genome browser.